Beautiful souls, it's Sunday. Looking, this video just started and I think I had a crow competition. He better be quiet because I want a message too. Look, as the sun come out and hit me in my mind's eye, gorgeous souls, wow. It's the 8th of November. 8 is the vibration of abundance, right? Or the infinity, right? Sugar dumplings, so I got a message for you. What is that message going to be today? If you have been following me, you're just starting to follow me, hold on, because this is Unfiltered. My name is Spiritual Tiik. I'm a holistic practitioner, an energy healer, a global impact creator. Overall, I'm here to help you elevate and expand. Now back to the business. Sugar dumplings. So listen. So here's what I want to land on you this good Sunday, okay? For whenever you catch it. You might catch it on a Monday, who knows? But the word is simply respect, right? And for those that know me, know I like to keep it 100% real. I had a video on transparency or on honesty, and now this is about respect. And why is it about respect? Because when you're on any type of vibration, right? And so actually I was gonna say vibrational game, because sometimes I feel like life is just that. It is this game that you're learning to navigate, right? And some of you guys are really good at what they call, I was about to say Sega. Oh my goodness. I'm really telling my age here. What is it? PlayStation. That's out here in the world now. Some of you are very good at navigating these games, but the real question is, are you able to navigate the game of your own life? So when it comes to the word respect for yourself, respecting your love life, respecting the workplace, respecting the friendships, like how are you navigating that game? I wish I had I'm not editing, but right now I feel like I need something to go. So I'll just make the sound effect. Yeah, but how are you navigating that word respect? R-E-S-P-E-C-T, right? How are you navigating that word? Because I know for me, I come up against a lot of different situations, obstacles on a regular basis that comes to me aligning what's respectful for me. Now, my mama raised me like this. She said, we don't like disrespect, honey. And no, we don't. So from an energy perspective, on a physical perspective, respect for me is key. It's key in setting a foundation in friendships. It's key in setting a foundation in relationships. It's key in setting the foundation for self. But you get tested. And that's why I say how you plan the game of respect, okay? And so when you get tested, what are you actually doing? How are you responding? Are you responding in truth? So again, back to my transparency, but you have to be able to respond in that truth, okay? Because respect for me, let's define it. You're about to get a little Tiikism. Let's define respect. Respect for me is me communicating something to you, and then the individual that's in receipt I'm going to say the word respect now, is acknowledging what it is that I'm saying and then going to act in terms of what it is I'm requesting. Okay. So let me break that down, because I wanted to use the word respect in my own definition, but let me give an example. Okay. An example is I tell someone, hey, I don't like this. And they continue to do that act, knowing that I do not like this. For me, that's a sign of disrespect, because I'm going, well, hold on a minute. I've explained to you that that's not something that I like, and I've told you in different ways, and you continue to sort of, I'm gonna use the word now, violate what it is I'm asking you not to do, right? So when I say playing your respect game, then at what point do you then take control of that interaction between you and another? Okay, so in my example of me saying to someone that I don't like this or whatever action they were doing because of the way it was making me feel, etc., I got one or two choices. I can decide to have a further conversation with that individual and say, listen, I would appreciate if you didn't do this because this is how this makes me feel. Now, to me, adding the explanation, some people might say to me, but Tiik, I ain't got time to explain. When I say what I say, listen, sugar dumpling, delivery is everything. I really, truly do believe in that too. So how you deliver something to another vessel is going to impact their response and then your response, right? You have cause and effect, okay? It is a law. So it is key to be able to explain. But see, for me, I like clarity. So when I know that I've explained something to you, I've told you what I don't like, how it makes me feel, then I'm a balancer. I'm gonna go, okay, well, let's work in balance and see how we can move together in this so that you're not being disrespectful, but equally that I can understand what it is that you were trying to achieve. Because most of the time, I would like to believe that it's not people's intention to be disrespectful. But some people, it is their intention to be disrespectful. So I have to be aware of that too. But most of the time in my experiences, it's not people's intention to be disrespectful. So with that being said and that being known, then I like to work with vessels. But here's my thing. I do have like a little three minimum rule. Okay. And that is, once I have decided to explain something, and then if I have to explain again, the same thing in the same way, note I said the same thing in the same way, then by the third time, it's like, well, no, because I've actually told you. And then you have to implement that boundary. Okay. Respect is key. But, this is me giving an example of an external situation. Let's get to you, sugar dumplings. Let's get to you. Because even in that external situation that I was sharing with you guys, you have to have respect for yourself to be able to then articulate what it is that you are needing to say to another. So that means then you got to then be able to know what is your boundary, what is your bottom line, what is your final, what is your no. And if you don't know that, then let this video be a reminder for you to go back and reflect on what that is for you. Okay. What is respectful for you in those key areas of life? The key area of life for self, the key area of life with you, with another soul, the key area of life with you, with your partner, with your kids, etc. Because if you're not clear on what it is, and to be honest with you, a lot of people are not clear. They're just ticking along, sugar dumplings. And as they're ticking along, what is actually happening is that they are allowing situations to happen. And then what was created after that? What ends up being created after that is emotions that hold people in stagnation, because then they go around telling a story. It becomes a narrative, and the narrative is, oh my God, this and this happened, this person did this, and da-da-da-da-da, but the story goes on and on and on. And then it's the belief systems that come with it. And then people start having pain. And then they got to call me. Then you got to call me to be like, Tiik, I got this trauma here. Well, you know what? It starts with the bottom line, frequency, the word respect. You getting clear about what it is and how something makes you feel, and then you acting on that, but also in a respectful way. Okay. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to implement that boundary for yourself? Are you making that time and space for yourself to say, okay, I'm going to look at these things, and here's what I'm going to do? Because I like to have people go on a journey. I want to just invite you to write down 3 things. Okay. And when it comes to respect, okay, whether that is your time, that's a big one for me, right? Respect and time, your space, your home, your family, what is it for you? Okay. And then ask yourself, what do you allow happen in these spaces with different people? So, because I imagine that different people you allow to do different things, which means then that some situations are probably a bit more heavier than others because you're giving them grace because you love them, they're your family, they're your kids. And then because you got these emotional attachments, you're allowing these things to happen. Well, then I'm going to say to you, sugar dumpling, and you are allowing disrespect to yourself. So I'm not saying cut off relationships. I'm saying reevaluate those relationships and what's happening in them. But ultimately, it comes back to you because you have control and you're the decision maker on your actions. So you can't say to me, well, that he did disrespect, we're just going to continue. Well, actually, people are only going to continue what you allow them to do. I'm going to let that land and marinate too. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. People are only going to continue what you allow them to do. So if you don't put your foot down and acknowledge what's actually arising in you so you can communicate that, then they're not going to really know. And then when you do and can, and you do tell them and they continue, then it's up to you to set the boundary and say, but no, I'm good, because you continue to be disrespectful. But you got to hold it. So allowing the emotional part to come in to go, oh my God, but I really care about them. Hey, you need to really care about yourself. You caring about others on the external is beautiful. But if you don't love yourself more than you love someone else, then it's a problem, sugar. I said to someone who I love dearly, I said, excuse me, I love me more than I love you. Do you know? It's like they threw everything out the pram. How dare you say, well, hold on a minute. If I don't love on me, how am I know how to love on you? Like, come on. Like, let's let it land, people. If I don't love on me, how am I going to love on you? because I got to know what it feels like to have love. Many of you are, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but many of you are operating in that deficit. And it's an invitation to go and start to pour into yourself. And I know some of you, but I don't know how. I didn't have this, I didn't have that. I know that. That's why you got all these different people on different platforms, speakers, coaches, etc., that can support you through that journey. You don't have to do it alone. Okay, so let me just say that. It's an invitation. Okay, but what I am saying is that it's about awareness. Okay, so let's get into it this week. Okay, I want you to be more vigilant about the word respect and what disrespect you are allowing in your life. And I ain't saying go out there and be telling people off and pop your head and pop your collar. Don't do all that. Okay, I want you just to evaluate what's going on. Write down 3 things that do you feel is purposeful for you when it comes to the word respect. Okay, 3 key areas, and then I want you to evaluate those areas. Okay, and ask yourself how you're operating in those spaces and with different vessels, people. What are you allowing? Okay, and if there's things in there to make your stomach turn a little bit, or you get sensations in your body, those are the areas that I'm going to invite you to begin to shift so that you can change. Okay, it's an invitation. It's an invitation. All right, so I'm out of here, sugar dumplings. I don't know how long that was, but it better be longer than 5 minutes. But if it wasn't, it's longer than 2 or short. So, Tiik has done her job, and I'm keeping to my commitment. 12 weeks, long form. And this one will respect. Y'all go on and have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm out.